Sarah.
Oh, Susie.
What are you doing?
Just hanging out in my house, like watching some Netflix and chilling.
And now we're recording episode 415 with all of you. Hello, our friends.
We are sneaking closer and closer to episode 420. And
people were really sad.
There was some confusion.
There was.
You know what? Fair, since the people who were confused, I can only assume were the stoners.
Right. We'll give them a pass.
They thought that we happened to release an episode on 420, and they thought that was going to be the 420 episode. However, that was not the case.
Wait is almost over.
Correct.
And I am a little nervous, but I am also excited.
Yeah, and now
I think I'm nervous because you won't actually be here,
right?
When I do it, so I'll be like scared because I don't know how to even hold the marijuana cigarette.
Yeah, but I'm not going to make you smoke a marijuana cigarette because So I was thinking since I did bake some brownies, that you should just take one of the brownies.
Do you think?
Because maybe
aren't those unpredictable though? Like you might overdose.
I mean, you're not going to overdose because Ren had one, and then he brought some. He gave some to some of his friends, and they had some. So I know that you are safe with a half of a brownie.
Oh, okay. Well, so
they took
and
a
then
whole
they
one
just
and they
take
were
like an hour to.
Yeah, about an hour or two, maybe.
Oh, okay.
An hour.
Whatever you're the
it's
boss. It's
almost
of
like
this.
a slow. It's like a slow and steady versus like up real quick and down real quick.
I think. So how long does the smoking high last?
I mean, maybe like I think it's probably different for everybody, but like maybe the intensity of it for like the real like chill out for like a half hour.
Okay.
Depending on how much you smoke, of course. And how strong it is what you're doing, but I'm not going to give you the like crazy stuff. And every time I go, I'm always like, give me the bottom of the shelf, the stuff that you don't like,
Yeah, easy stuff.
Because then you don't, then you can don't get a tolerance.
I just want to do whatever's the funniest. So if smoking is funnier, then I'll do that. If the brownie's funnier,
we're doing
I'll
that.
do that. Okay.
Yeah, you know why? Because the brownie that I made is like relaxing. Like you're gonna like you can just chill and watch a movie, and you're just gonna be like, yeah. It's more like that. It's not like So I'll get you. There'll be a special.
It'll be sorted out.
It'll be all sorted out. There'll be stuff for all occasions. But yes, that will be our 420 episode. 5 episodes from now.
Yeah, not long at all.
Mm-hmm.
Something to look forward to.
Yes.
So, any hoodles, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Checking in.
Yeah, I feel like spring has sprung over here.
We had our first takeout experience during quarantine the other day.
How was it?
We waited, like 6 or 8 weeks or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
It was so good because I hadn't
What'd
had
you get? Oh my God, Thai food, right?
No, pasta, man.
Oh, pasta. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, it was
What did you get? Oh, is it from that good Italian place that you took me for my birthday? Oh, man, there's no other place.
I felt like, how people that go on Survivor, like when they get home, they just are so hungry for all the food that they didn't eat. That's how it felt. Like I was just like, this is the best meal I've ever had.
Oh, my gosh.
So
fun.
Fun.
Ren and I have said that we're going to once a week do a like at-home date night, and then once a week do which is like no different than another night. Then all it is like maybe we get like a little bit more dressed up and maybe like put out a cheese platter.
I think that's super
and maybe
cute.
use wine glasses with a stem.
Yeah, because you're classy.
Because we're classy. And and then one night a week order from a local restaurant to kind of like, support the local apps. And like,
I love it. It's really fun. And they said they were so busy too. They were, because it took them forever. And so we called to check on it. And they're like, we're sorry, we're so busy. And I was so excited for them.
Good.
Yeah.
So the place across the street, the Yard House across the street from me, has a big old sign that's like, take out beer. Yeah.
I hope people are doing that.
I mean, maybe if you don't want to leave your house and you're like, because one night we did do that when we ran out of wine. Emergency.
Yes.
So we ordered like a family pack which is funny that they call it a family pack and it came with wine. Well, you know what? It's what you need to survive being in a family, any kind. So it was like add on a wine bottle for like half price. And we just got the pizza along with it and the wings because we wanted so shout out to Medici's, the downstairs right underneath my house, right underneath my apartment. And it's cool. The chefs are always like, they always have the windows open and the doors open because it's like an outdoor patio. And we are right above it.
Ooh,
and
I bet you get a lot of yummy smells.
Oh, so many yummy smells. And it's like wood burning, Italian, one of those.
Yes.
Whatever,
I'm so jealous.
Forno pizza ovens. And, but the chefs are always like rocking out to like house music. And they're like it's like a party down there. And it sounds so much fun. So in the afternoon, I'm always like, when they get going and they're cooking, and I'm like, they're having a good time down there, man. Good
for them. Living their best life.
Yeah.
Lincoln would love that because he watched Trolls World Tour, the movie.
Oh, yes.
That came out a couple weeks ago, and he got really into... They are divided, the Trolls, into different genres of music, and he was really into the house music.
This doesn't surprise me.
Why?
I see how he moves his body. He's very, like, flaily with his move. Like, he's, like... When he moves, and when he used to dance to music when he was little, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it, but it seems like house music would channel that energy into, like I'm sure it's only a matter of time before he's raving.
Oh, God. That is so terrible to think about.
Do they still call it that? I don't even know if it's called that these days.
I don't
either.
They
probably don't. They don't at all.
Pathetic losers.
They don't.
But I just didn't see that coming because it's like the one genre that he's never heard. And he was like, what's that song at the beginning of Trolls where it says like one more time? And I'm like, oh, that's called One More Time.
Yeah.
He's really into that bop.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to introduce him to such good music.
I'm going to be so sad.
I wasn't, maybe he I thought for a while like I had to win him over still. I'm really going to get him with the music.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm going to make him a mixtape. He's going to love it.
A mixtape?
Do they still do that? Mixtape?
No, I don't think they do, Sarah.
So no mixtape and no raves. Got it. I'm clearly living in 2001.
Yes, I'll tell him you approve, though. You guys can rave together. Any hoodles, I wanted to tell you, I watched this documentary last night. It was so freaking great.
What?
You have to watch it. It's on Netflix. It's called Circus of Books.
Oh.
And
I haven't even seen this.
It must be just out. I think I got an email a few days ago saying, we have a new documentary you'll like, and that was it. And they were right. I loved it. Let me give you the synopsis. This couple was kind of like flailing in their career and not sure what to do. And the wife saw an ad in the paper from Larry Flint, who's the founder of Hustler magazine. And Larry was looking for secondary or like independent booksellers to be distributors of his pornography. And because of like laws that prevented some of the major retailers from doing it. And so they were like, why don't we buy this suffering bookstore and like become a distributor for Larry Flint? So, but they're conservative Jews. And so they're not the type of people you would expect to be distributing pornography. And so that dissonance is enjoyable. But then, and then over time, they became the number one distributor of hardcore gay porn in the United States.
What? Well, you know what they say, don't sample your own merchandise.
Well, they didn't.
They didn't. They chose a genre. They're like, no, we're good.
Yeah, they had no interest.
They followed the rules of
yeah, good business.
Good business.
And like it was funny because she's now, they have done this for 30 years. So she's an older Jewish lady now. And she was like going through inventory and she'd be like, okay, put the cock rings over there.
I love when people you don't expect talk so casually about sex and you're like, what just came out of your mouth?
Yeah. And then they started producing the films.
Oh, well,
and so they were very involved in the creation of this product that they were not even really familiar with, had no interest in, and kind of...
Are we sure?
Yeah, because one of their sons ended up being gay, and it was a big problem.
Oh, no!
Yeah, but it's
Susie,
a beautiful...
get out.
I know. That's why it's so great. It's
That's
the perfect
not fair.
Story. Well, okay, well... I don't want to spoil it, but
no,
basically...
don't spoil it.
Basically,
or do.
You know, religion can play funny tricks on us. And so there's this like cognitive dissonance between like what we think is okay, like generally and culturally versus maybe what we feel comfortable with our own kids doing. I mean, for example, rave music. Like I'm fine with it in theory. But so, yeah, it was just a challenge for them to accept it in the way that you would think somebody that owned a hardcore gay bookstore would.
I can't believe that one. Man.
Yeah. And you can sense this kind of sadness of the son, but it's a happy story, really. But it's just, the challenges of family life don't stop just because you happen to be into gay porn selling.
That's really interesting.
It's great. It's such a great film. And I love that the daughter was filming it, and the mom was like, "I don't know why you're filming this. Nobody wants to see this." So that was like
they say that in everything. That's
nobody's gonna watch this. This is stupid.
Didn't you say that's what they said? That's what. And I haven't seen it yet. In the pharmacy one, the
yeah.
Where they're like, "Why are you videotaping, Dad?"
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Thank goodness for those people.
Yeah, and it was a tremendous story, and I think you guys will love it. And I love all the B-roll of like gay culture in the 80s, and they talk about what it was like going through AIDS and all their customers dying, and they've been through some shit.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And New York, right?
This was in West Hollywood, actually.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought
because they're Jewish, maybe.
Well, yeah. And so West Hollywood, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I recommend that if you're looking for something to watch.
Definitely going to check that out.
I also watched, this might have been just as good, the Who Let the Dogs Out documentary.
Stop. Like from the song?
Yes.
Who? This is like the freaking thong song. I'm telling you.
Yes.
There's probably more to it. This is great. Susie, tell me everything.
It is so good. My husband is so sick of hearing me talk about it because he didn't watch it. And I'm just like, you have to watch it. We can't talk about it. You just have to watch it. It's so good.
Aren't you curious who let them out?
Lincoln keeps saying that to me, but who did let the dogs out? I'm like, it's the age-old question. We don't know.
Oh my God,
but that documentary is great because they're trying to figure out who wrote the song. Because there apparently have been a lot of lawsuits and people claiming they wrote it. And it is brilliantly produced because they started today and worked backwards. And
love
every time you think, okay, we've determined who wrote the song, it's wrong. Because then they'll go back another year and then another year and another year. And it's like the best because it really does kind of unpack the fallibility of memory, and how we might believe something to be true.
Yeah. Is it Beanie Men? Who I think it is? Baha Men. Beanie Men.
Yes. Like, I believe nobody in this story is telling a lie. They all believe they wrote it. It is so great.
Wow. Oh, my God. I can't wait to see this. Oh, so, I mean, I was going to say this to talk about, in an upcoming episode, but I was having this thought because Ren had not seen The Jinx.
Oh, yeah.
So, and of course, that's like one of our favorites, right?
Yeah.
And don't you feel like, Must see. And don't you feel like that really kicked off the like docuseries wave?
Yeah, it changed everything. And maybe didn't kick it off, but it changed our expectations about what should be included.
Okay. This is great that you say that it changed our expectations, because in going back and watching it, and it's only been like 3 or 4, maybe 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Now it's boring.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ren has not made it through a whole episode. He keeps falling asleep. And I keep shaking him and going like, no, it's going to get good. Like, you have to keep watching. We're only through, this isn't even the good part yet.
Yes.
And because that's kind of how it is too. It does take a little while.
But it's a long story. That's for sure.
So then I was thinking like, oh my God, is this the Tiger King phenomenon or whatever you want to call it? Because you got me thinking about that.
Yes.
And then
our appetites have changed.
Which makes me nervous. And here's why. This mirrors reality television.
Absolutely. I was going to say that.
So
you cannot even watch my season because you would be so bored.
It's probably mine too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this makes me, I'm like getting panicky feelings for the future now, because it makes me think like, so
yeah, because there's not a lot of places you can go from there.
Right. And so here's my question that like I had to like kind of play, the other side of it. And is it just that we are in a digital age and that now more things are caught on camera, and that there's always been this, there's always been a Joe Exotic,
Yeah, there has always been a Joe Exotic for sure.
And we're just going to now start to see those stories because they're captured.
Yeah, and I think if you put out Tiger King 20 years ago, the reaction wouldn't have been the same. I think people would have been appalled rather than compelled.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I really do. I think people would have been like, this is disgusting trash. And that's kind of how we saw like Jerry, what's it called?
Yeah, Jerry Springer.
Yeah. We watched it, but there was a sense of like, this is sick.
And like before all of those, what do you even want to call them? Just like fringe personalities or kind of oddball individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And even I don't even know, like non-normative behaviors, like social behaviors. I don't even know what to call them. Yes. Would be kind of kept behind closed doors.
Yeah, there'd be shame.
And once everything's out in the open, and then where do we go from here? Is it just up in the ante every time? And is it just for viewership? And now did like the Tiger King set a new bar? And
I do see, what do we... I see little tiny glimmers of what I would consider to be like a reset. Kind of like, you had the flappers in the 20s, and they were provocative. They cut their hair. They wore short dresses, and they wore high heels, and they were like kind of like thought of as loose women. Mm-hmm. And then the reaction to that became modesty. So I do understand that these are cyclical and things ebb and flow. But I see things like Anna Wintour, the editor of Vogue. Yeah. She has a flip phone instead of a smartphone. And I see like, when I see things like that, I think, okay, like when the tastemakers start going back, then maybe it'll be a reset.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a little reset.
And that also makes me think of ASMR videos. And videos of people just unboxing something, whatever, that we almost want a stripped down, raw,
honest
unproduced.
To God.
And so that I think that,
the virus situation is encouraging that too. We're excited about bread again.
Oh my God, the things I'm excited about. It's really crazy.
So maybe that'll be a silver lining, that we kind of get a little bit of a reset on our tastes.
We've definitely,
One thing, this is something that everyone can agree on, by the way, that this is in good taste, and that is uncommon goods.
Oh my gosh. Do I love that website.
I'm excited because
half of your gifts I've ever got you have come from there, just so you know.
We are psyched because we're working with Uncommon Goods now, and I'm psyched because this is my number one go-to, like you're saying.
Yeah.
When I need a gift or want to buy something different, is the first stop
something uncommon, maybe?
Right. And so I was so psyched because Mother's Day is coming up. Graduations are coming up, even if commencements might not be. They're still graduating. You still got to get them a gift. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you should check out Uncommon Goods. Do you not love their stuff?
So many personalized options. And I got, this is so crazy. I saved, like, when Ren and I first started dating, I was flipping through this magazine that had, like, gift ideas to get, you know, your loved one. And they had this custom viewfinder. You know those old school viewfinders?
Yes.
And I was like, this is so perfect. I cut it out of the magazine, and I saved that picture in a file. Guess what website has that viewfinder?
No.
And so I'm going to get that. And
that's really cool.
And it comes with a little code, and then you, like, send in the code, and it, like, lets you put all your photos in it. And so I'm going to do our first year together in a viewfinder.
That's really special. And see, that would make a great gift, too. That's
I hope
something.
He can't hear me.
Mother.
And if you can, pretend like you didn't hear that.
Yeah, whatever. He'll be psyched. They have, as Sarah said, tons of personalized stuff. They have, like, kitchen stuff, wine stuff. Basically, anybody that's on your gift list, they'll have something that's different,
garden
unique.
Stuff, yoga stuff, tech stuff.
It feels really special. I got my mom this bowl, a serving platter bowl that has a tree in it. She's obsessed with the tree of life.
Oh, yeah.
And you can add your last name to it and then, like, the year that your family was formed. It's so special.
She's going to die for that.
And it's painted by a local artist, so they're using a lot of local artists to make the items and personalize them. It's just really great, and they give money.
I can talk about this for freaking ever.
I know.
I mean, for real. I can go item by item and be like, okay, and this is my favorite thing, and this is what you should get this person, and have you seen the gratitude tree?
We'll put it on Insta because people will want to see. Yeah. And they donate $1 for every purchase to organizations like RAIN, which is the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. So beautiful.
I didn't even know that.
Uncommon Goods knows that finding the perfect gift can be hard, so they want to make it fun and easy for our listeners. Go to uncommongoods.com and you get 10% off your purchase if you text CANDY to 56320. That's uncommongoods.com. And don't forget to text CANDY to 56320 for 10% off. Isn't that great?
It's the best.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. But yes, I agree with you that this is what's happened with reality TV. And I always talk about how whether you love Trump or not, he is a product of our changing tastes culturally and the ways that we have decided that being entertained is more important than other things like experience or whatever. And so it matters. There's consequences.
Really God. And speaking of reality TV, your article was so good.
Thanks, Sarah.
If you guys have not read it,
That's
it was
really nice
what starring on 7 seasons of MTV Challenge taught me about losing control. And it's like basically how to stay sane during this lockdown. I mean, you and I hit the nail on the head with things that are important. Like the stuff doesn't matter, people do.
Yeah. Well, that's for sure true.
Even in the nicest looking house.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You end up spending all your time in one room anyway.
That's so true.
It's so funny.
Well, and like you and I kept saying how quarantine felt very familiar to us.
Yep.
And, but it's just worse on the show because you don't even have TVs or anything. I really want, like, I know it sounds stupid and petty, but I want people to really imagine what their life right now would be like, but without anything to do.
Oh my God.
And then in a house with people they don't really like.
It's
terrible.
It's awful. It really is. And I remember the challenge that I was on with the one where Trishelle quit. And so I was already in Thailand and they kept me around, you know, just to make sure, like as an alternate really. So I had 2 weeks of total freedom but still like in vacation mode where I knew everybody else was on the challenge and I knew where the challenge house was. And I was staying at the same hotel as the crew. So I rented a scooter and I would drive by that challenge house. And it was like down, a windy road. So nobody could see me. Like I just drove by like where the turn was. And every time I just felt this like wave, this rush of freedom and like total
get that.
Like, empowered, just...
Did you ever see anybody?
Like gave a finger to it not even like I was pissed. I mean, I was a little pissed, but like I wasn't. I was just like, ha ha.
Yeah, like so
you're
long,
not
suckers.
In control now. Yes, yeah, ha ha. Have fun living in your, And at that time, there was a broken air conditioner and a bunch of little stuff that you don't even realize. Like for example, to make it look good, they repainted the deck the week before we started with this black paint. And I'm like in Thailand, and got a great tan going on. Of course, I buy the white bathing suit thinking that's going to be super cute because like it looks so good, makes me look tan and lovely. And
of course, yeah.
And it's in Thailand, so the paint never really dried.
No.
And they like painted, and you would sit and it would like all peel off onto everything. It was just like black paint that would just float on the top of the pool. It was, I mean, like, you don't see that on camera, but, if everybody's white clothes were, like, a little purpley, that would be why.
That's why I mentioned in the article, like, the biohazards, because it's usually a problem that would never be on camera because it's in the bathroom, in the toilet, or the showers.
Yeah.
And how would you know that? You wouldn't as a viewer. No. And it's also why it's not a priority for production to resolve.
Because you don't see any of that.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with story.
Right. Yeah, and that's why they didn't even bother to paint the top 3 feet of the ceilings in the house I lived in Brooklyn.
Can you believe that?
The roller marks, like they didn't even bother to get the ladder. They're like, yeah, no, the camera won't even film up there.
When you were on The Real World, did they allow you to have a camera?
Oh, a disposable camera.
That then they would...
which is now like an obsolete thing that doesn't even exist anymore.
Would they develop the photos and they'd take out the ones they didn't want you to keep?
No, I think I wasn't able... Oh, no. I think I got to keep all of them. I just wasn't able to develop
I wasn't able to keep all mine.
Oh, wow. What weren't you able to keep?
Like anything that would... I think it was like production, like showing how the sausage is made. Basically, everything we do now on Patreon.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. No, I had everything we do on Patreon. I love it. It's so funny you say that because, like, I went through all, now that I've cleaned out my whole house, I have found, I found a whole bunch of stuff from challenge houses that I have, kept over the years. Like I have the bedspreads and some pillow covers and like nice tapestries from Turkey.
I kind of love your hoarding.
Well, and I want to like, give that away on Patreon. Hello.
Oh my God.
Because like challenge people wouldn't, and you wouldn't even know that it's from a challenge house unless you were like a real, like there's nothing that says
like it's
that.
Cute.
So you can, yes, it's beautiful. It's like this Turkish embroidered tapestry that's fucking gorgeous. It must have cost an arm and a leg too. And I asked him, I was like, do you mind if I keep this? And they're like, yeah, sure.
Are you sure you want to get rid of it though?
Yes, I've had it for so long. And like, I really thought, I was like, maybe I'll turn it into something, but they're just, a different color scheme than what I use in my house. And it's beautiful, but I feel like it needs to have a home where somebody's going to appreciate it all.
Well, that you're reminding me also, because Sarah is doing a giveaway on our Q&A for some of these challenge items. Like when people come to our Q&As, then we give a winner a prize. But I was thinking I need to film the 420 episode. Like,
oh, for sure.
And then put that on as well.
100%.
Like, especially if I'm smoking
something.
Right? And then we can put it together. We could do it on Zoom or whatever.
Oh, my God.
I think it would be so funny.
This is great. I love this. I love it.
So if you want to be our patron, just go on there. It's patreon.com.
You can watch Susie get stoned. Oh, this is going to be great. That's going to be worth every penny.
Another thing that's worth every penny is Modern Fertility's kit that you can take to find out what's going on with your uterus and your body. Oh, my God.
What better time than to modernize, anything medical or trips to the doctor? You don't have to go.
Because now the jig is up. Like, we all know that we can do this crap at home for a fraction of the price, and Modern Fertility's got you covered. I just heard from a bunch of brainiacs who got theirs and were so excited because they were empowered by these results. You can find out, if you have viable eggs and, if your body is producing everything it needs to, or if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, things like that are really important to know. And if you did this at the doctor, it would cost over $1,000. But with Modern Fertility, you can do it for $159. You just do a little tiny finger prick, send the sample back, and then they send you all the results and your hormone levels and stuff. And right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. That means your test will cost $139 instead of hundreds or thousands it would cost at a doctor's office.
Crazy, yeah.
So great. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy, modernfertility.com/braincandy. Sarah and I were saying we have this theory that quarantine's changing our bodies a little bit.
Yep, for sure.
Like, things seem to be different now, so might as well get a test, see what you find out.
See what's going on.
Yeah.
What if it's like you are extra fertile, you've been nesting for so long?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you do become more fertile. And, like, I'm putting on a little bit of, extra
COVID-19.
The COVID-19. Oh, my God, that's funny. That's a great joke.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but, and they do say that, like, that can sometimes help.
Oh, my God, that's
too
true.
much, but,
yeah,
if you're a slender person to begin with. More cushion for the pushing, yes.
There you go.
I ain't mad at it.
No way. I'm jealous of your meals.
Oh,
they
my
look
gosh.
so yummy. I want to be
You're
in quarantine
so
with a chef.
Let me tell you, homemade pasta ain't nothing like it.
Amen. Amen to that.
So good.
I read this totally interesting personality study that was done. This was on getpocket.com, which is a website I hadn't ever heard of. Excuse me.
I don't know that either.
Yeah, it was through a tweet I saw this, and I was so excited to see it because it was the longest running personality study that had ever been done.
I love these.
Me too. We love a good longitudinal. And
now there's a T-shirt.
Maybe that'll be our next one.
People will be like, is this a euphemism? Could be.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
They tested people at the age of 14 and then again at 77.
Wow, that's a big one.
Huge gap. And what they found was that you're basically a completely different person.
Well, heck. That's good news.
Well, I guess it depends. It depends on where you started.
Yeah, it depends on who you were when you were 7 compared to...
Yeah, so like they tested self-confidence, perseverance, stability of moods, conscientiousness, originality, and desire to learn, which I love. Those are the traits that they tested. And the correlation suggested no significant stability of personality at all.
What?
And like they said there's growing neuroscience research that supports like the ancient Buddhist belief that our notion of a stable self or personhood is nothing more than an illusion.
Whoa, that was a mouthful. The notion of a stable self or personhood is just an illusion.
So that can be unsettling, I feel like, but I thought
it shows that there's neuroplasticity and that
and you could be whoever you want.
Yeah, and you can rewire your brain. We know that. Yeah,
so at first I was kind of disconcerted, and then I thought, you know what? This can be a positive thing.
Yes. And I think it tells us that you have two options. You can either be in control and have a kind of say in how your brain is wired, or you can just allow it to happen for you, which often makes for connections that are like faulty wiring, I guess you could put it that way.
Okay. So you feel like a
because
person
like
could... Go ahead.
If it fires together, it wires together.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, if nobody's born thinking they're an idiot. But if you are in a house where you have a parent who says, oh, you're an idiot all day long, you start to believe that you are.
Yeah.
Now you leave that, house and you are on your own, and now you're like, man, my relationships are really suffering, and I have, bad communication in relationships and blah, blah, blah. And then you go to a therapist, and that therapist is like, oh, let's reparent ourselves. You're going to do a lot of like, like reparenting of yourself. I mean, I don't know how else to kind of describe it. To kind of undo all that and to rewire that. And you can, by reparenting yourself and by kind of countering those thoughts and saying, okay, well, now I'm a grown person. Am I really an idiot? What does the evidence say? No, I'm smart. I'm capable. I'm, blah, 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 blah. And you can rewire that and change and like snip and clip old, cords, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So we know that with neuroplasticity. So you can either be in control of it.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of like let those connections happen, and sometimes they're not connected to the right place.
Well, right. And, think of the experiences you have in your life from the age of 14 to 77. It's all the formative stuff, like in terms of life choices.
God, for sure.
So it stands to reason that those things would have great influence over who you become. But when you look at a picture of yourself at 14, don't you think, I don't know, just you still see yourself and you relate to that person, but I mean, scientifically, it's kind of like you're totally different.
Yeah, and don't they say that all of your cells have regenerated too?
Yeah.
So you're really like not even the same. Ooh, that is like creepy, but hopeful at the same time, and it's very strange.
Yeah, if you
kind
choose
of unsettling
to see
in a weird way.
Yeah, but if you kind of see it as empowering, then it's not as freaky. But
yeah,
I was excited.
And it really shows like the importance of mindfulness, the importance of kind of like what you think and what your perspective and those thoughts really matter.
Right, because if you see it as this isn't just something happening to me, but that I'm involved in, and you're an active participant, then it's not as freaky.
Right. Yeah, because what are those traits they said? Go over those again.
Okay.
Because and they're not fixed. Okay.
Self-confidence, perseverance.
Yeah.
Stability of moods, conscientiousness, originality, and desire to learn.
Wow. And you can even look at someone who experiences any kind of trauma, and we all have in whatever way, and and their level of resilience and how they reacted to it or whatnot can make anything in those categories better or worse.
Mm-hmm. When you hear those traits, do you think for you that you've stayed pretty much consistent, or do you see the difference? Oh, okay.
So much change. Self-confidence, huge. Yeah.
What's going on now? How's the comparison?
I think after leaving like my marriage, that was a big one. I think
did it help you or?
Oh yeah, it really helped. It really, really helped because it was like, oh, you are strong enough to do that, and you can, survive.
Okay.
And watching myself on the challenge and seeing, what a pushover I was and how I kind of sacrificed some of my own, not too much, not in any way that somebody would notice, but I would just laugh along for the sake of laughing along, and now I would stand up and have a voice and maybe speak out a little more a lot more when and started to do that more.
Oh, Oh,
and
that's
I think it's just being like, I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, and I know that that's a whole bunch, and I'm okay with that. And so you just learn. It's more like acceptance than more like increased self-worth, which I think in turn increases self-confidence.
I was just telling this to Adam, like separate from this article. I was telling him how I used to be so confident, and now I have none.
Oh,
I'm only laughing
what do you
because
think that is?
Because I don't want to cry. No, just
But I see you as such a capable person. So
that's nice.
It just like makes me sad to hear that, because I look at you and I'm like, man, she.
You know what, Sarah? Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's the Dunning-Kruger thing, where I just, like you said, we know what we don't know, and instead of me having peace about it, I'm like disturbed or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, I say this with clients a lot, and this is especially with people who are high achievers and who are very motivated and who are naturally driven, that there's always this feeling of it's not
inadequacy.
Inadequacy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if we relabel that as a motivator, a motivating factor, and look at that as thank goodness for that skill. Thank goodness for that, because that is what has pushed you to achieve what you've achieved. And no matter what it is, whether it's like being a good mom or being like, it doesn't even matter. It could be like, I'm going to perfect this banana bread. Like those, you can look at it as instead of the opposite, because what's the opposite of that?
What?
Complacency. Like being like, no, this is fine.
Right.
I'm good with just this, putting this. That's fine. And
no,
that would be, you wouldn't, that doesn't sound like.
You know how we talk about that voice that we talk to ourselves and how mean we can be to ourselves?
Oh, yes.
Things we would never say to someone else.
A critical voice.
I mean, she is noisy, and she's always telling me I'm a loser. It's so rude.
So, and you know what? She tends to come out, as they all do, when our fear response, when we're in high stress situations, because that different system is activated. Yeah. We're operating from the limbic system that's like reactive. That is a little girl who's defensive and is going to react and use the same skills that she used when she, so it's doing things that they call either top down or bottom up processing. So top down, like either changing your thinking, like I was saying, like challenging those thoughts, like what's the truth here? Am I really inadequate? Am I really an idiot? Am I really like not achieving things or whatever? Yeah. Or bottom up, which is controlling the physical body and focusing on deep breathing and yoga and meditation and practicing mindfulness and doing grounding exercises and listening to a guided meditation for, loving kindness and those things that work on regulating that system. And yes.
I need to work on that.
End. So that's how, because you can do those. Yes. And that's exactly what I was saying before about, we can change our personalities, but you have to be in control. So you can, let those emotions, you can let that little girl who's you can let her run the show, which will wire your brain a certain way and elicit certain kinds of emotions and, personality traits. Or you can, take over and activate that different, more executive functioning and let that person run the show. But it takes effort and work, and you have to be really mindful and intentional about it.
Yeah, it is hard work.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I loved it. I really did. Because it's so true, and I know a lot of people struggle with that. And that is also something that is worsened by social media, because you compare 100%. Your real self to everyone else's pretend self, and so then you feel like hot garbage.
And I am over all these challenges and
me too.
Here's the thing. I was telling my mom this because my mom was joking. She's like, I feel like I'm wearing a wetsuit over my body, just like a wetsuit of skin that I can't take off. That's just on there now, and that's just how it is because I've been sitting at home and eating the whole time. And she was feeling guilty. I'm like, Mom, nobody's going to develop a new coping strategy right now. You're not going to, like, out of the blue be like, yeah, you know, I am. Maybe you are. And good for you if you are. Oh, that's good. But that is not typical. We're utilizing old ones. And so I just want everybody to give themselves a little. This is turning into Sarah just lecturing and giving a therapy session.
It's great advice.
But, like, just relax. Like, you know, give yourself a little bit of compassion. Understand, you know, like, what we're going through.
It's no big whoop. You're fine.
It's no big whoop.
You're doing fine. I promise.
All good.
And you're not a loser. And neither are you, Susie.
Neither are you, Susie. Not at all. Badass bitch.
I know, but I think it's something a lot of people struggle with. So I like to tell the truth about it.
Yeah.
And
this is like, you know, I'm saying this to you and to me.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not like the master of this myself. I'm like saying this is like, Sarah, you're also fine. So,
but I am encouraged in the end by the personality thing because I think, well, hey, that means there's unlimited potential and options of who you can become over the course of your life. So why don't you pick a good one?
Yeah, and if you really want to, if there is something that makes you, you know, like everybody has the power to change. Like I tried to not stop being a know-it-all. I mean, that's like a really funny thing for me to say after I just lectured for half an hour.
Wait, you tried to stop being a know-it-all?
Yeah, like in class, really. Like answering all the questions. Like that was really hard for me. But I was like, I'm going to change my personality and not be that person.
Hard for you. I love
Susie, come on.
It's
yes. I had to stop. I had to realize that I didn't have to prove how smart I mean, instead I got a podcast where I
but it's a better outlet.
See how maybe cool. It's a more appropriate outlet. This is like where people go and they like want to hear. Like, maybe.
Did you decide you didn't want to be a class know-it-all because you thought people wouldn't like it, or just because you thought it wasn't good for you, or?
All the above. And then I really thought long and hard because you told me something once that really stuck with me.
Oh, God.
Is you told me that that person in class, you know, sometimes can be difficult to have even if they are answering all the questions right and they are engaging, you know, in conversation, because then all of the students rely on you for the answer and nobody else participates.
Well, that's
and then
for
the professors don't like that either because, you know, and so I was like, this is all true. And then
I know people do that to you too.
What do you mean? Like rely?
Like in group projects and stuff?
100% they do.
Assume you do the work, and they were right.
They were totally right. That did stop in grad school when I met my equals.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn, you already finished it? I didn't even open the assignment yet.
Right, it's like all the overachievers together.
They're all the overachievers. And then, so that was funny. But, yeah. I don't even know what we were talking about. Oh, yeah.
Who cares?
What I wanted to change.
We're just surviving.
Just everything about me I want to change, you know.
Right.
After I was like, chill, everybody's fine.
Like, wait,
here's
maybe
the list
we are
of
losers.
Things I need to chill or need to change, but no.
I did see, this is just in passing, that same Instagram account that I follow, History Cool Kids or whatever it is. They had a picture of this dude named Adam Rayner, who was the only person that we know of that was a dwarf and a giant.
Excuse me?
Excuse me.
Did that even out?
Right, and then he was just average. That's hilarious.
How do we know that there aren't more of these people walking around?
What if we're all... Oh, that's all of us. Because by 19 years old, he was under 4 feet tall. So this is a typical size dwarf, a person with dwarfism. And then by 33, he was 7 feet 2 inches.
Stop it. That's... That's
he had
painful.
They think that he had a tumor on his pituitary.
I was going to guess that.
Yeah. And it was like all of a sudden. And it was so cool to look at him because he looked like, you know how different types of dwarfism have different features, physical features. So they might take on certain size head or eyes or whatever. So he resembled the boy from big people, little people, big world, but 7 feet tall. Like, he had that similar look.
Okay, I'm going to look right now.
Okay. Adam Rayner. So his facial features resembled those of people with dwarfism, but then he was humongoid.
Wow, interesting.
That's what an interesting life he must have led.
I see. That's really interesting.
Right? Because can you imagine if, your entire childhood until you're 19, believing you were a little person and you were going to be forever, and probably experiencing like the novelty and annoying stares and things like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you
I
become
can imagine.
Humongous, and then experience the gawking of that.
More than even that, I add on the physical pain.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Have you even, like, that pain of a growth spurt?
I never thought of that. That would be terrible.
It's so painful, like when your bones grow. And so his body grew at a really fast rate that would probably
that
cause...
was not pleasant.
Not at all. And during a time where I feel like you're more in... I feel like when you're younger, you don't even, like, realize when you get hurt sometimes.
Yeah, they don't care.
You're like...
They're like rubber.
Cares. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you're going through that in your adolescence, and which is already an awkward fit. That's very sad.
Yeah. But I can't speak to what his experience was, but I thought that picture was interesting.
Might make for a really good documentary.
Right?
But we just didn't have.
We don't have
but we
the
don't
footage.
Know. Right. So I wonder, because maybe that would have been a really crazy story, and I mean, it still is.
Yeah. When I went to that Ripley's museum in New York, man, was that fun. I mean, it is fun. I must be who that's geared towards, because I really love...
No, everybody likes that.
Okay. Because
everyone does. That's why that Guinness Book of Records sells so much.
Oh my God, it's so fun to see the extremes of human behavior and circumstances. What were you saying?
Except I saw this crazy... I think it was... an episode of, that show with the guy who did the Correspondence Dinner. Oh, my God. I always forget the name of it. I can't remember right now. I'll remember it maybe in the end when I finish the story. But it is about how the Guinness Book of Records is used by dictatorships.
Why?
Like... There's something about them getting entered and winning all of winning a lot of titles. Like they almost like pay for it and like buy their way into there because it like somehow like normalizes what like their. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this. You should definitely check out that episode though. I promise he does a way better. Hassan Minaj,
John Oliver,
and it's called something. Something with Hassan Minaj, that show. It's really good.
Yeah. Okay, so he was talking about how dictators like to use Guinness World Book of Records to validate something.
Yeah, how it's kind of like propaganda.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, like look at how well we do with this. Look at,
Oh, so it's like for the feats, like feats of strength and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, my God, I'm going to Google it right now and see. Oh, no, it's John Oliver who does it.
Okay.
Yes, I knew it was one of those shows. It's Late Night Tonight, or like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. And so he talks about, it says the Guinness World Records cozy relationship with stunt-happy dictators. And it's very interesting. It says, I promise you in 20 minutes, you're not so much going to be wondering why we talked about Turkmenistan and why we're never talking about anything else ever again, blah, blah, blah. So he talks about how it's truly deeply and compellingly odd, this unsettling relationship between authoritarian governments.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah, so check it out because it's like you can just Google that and it's there's a clip right there you can anywhere you can just watch. And it's fascinating because you'll be like, oh, I'll never think about the Guinness Book of Records the same, and I can totally see how they're doing that.
I got to say, I wouldn't be mad if they stopped with all of that except for the sort of like height and like long
longest
nails.
fingernails. That's the one I care about, like longest hair, longest
like
fingernails.
Birth
I don't care like how many people danced in unison to Michael Jackson's Thriller. Because that's what it is that they're getting. And they're like, wow, look at how it's like a big show.
See, that should be the part that gets... How the fuck does this company make their money, by the way?
Well, I'm telling you, they pay for it. Like these people, you pay.
For an
yeah, you have to pay to get...
I don't like it.
Somebody to come out there and... Yeah, you have to watch this
now
thing
I'm all mad.
Because it'll break it down for you and show you what's involved in just getting, like, in... You know, they have, like, the standards that people can enter, but then the other ones, like, you have to...
Yeah, like pogo stick underwater.
Yeah, you have to pay for somebody to come out and like authenticate or I don't know, whatever you call it.
I'm mad now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should be. So is John Oliver.
Good. I knew that I had a British sensibility at heart. All right. Well, make sure you sign up for our Patreon, everybody, because we are going to put a lot of stuff up on there. We have tons of interviews,
challenge giveaways,
Patreon.com.
Pieces of the challenge house.
Candy. And then please subscribe to the show and please leave us a 5-star review. We love you.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.